Tobago updates on viewers on this very, very rainy morning. We are being joined by Mr. Dedan Daniel, who's the chairman of the Tobago Reforestation and Watershed Rehabilitation Company. Good morning and welcome to you, sir.
Good morning and thanks for having me here this morning, Kandace.
All right. So first of all, there are some changes that are happening to the program. So can you just give us an idea of what is the shift in the direction?
The shift is more so to make a community and a social impact in terms of the work that we do, to meld the aspect of reforestation with rehabilitating people, increasing the forest capital at the same time, and also making changes to the environment that it positively impacts people.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, give me an idea because we've had some challenges or we've had some reports of farmers or people who are involved in the program and no longer working there for whatever reason or the other. Could you shed some light on that?
Who not working like farmers and so on?
Yes.
No, well, as an organization, you're always in flux, you're always in renewal, you're always in, and so on, and we are like unlike any other, so.
So in terms of the workers that you have involved, like give me an idea of how that
Okay,
works.
so we have 2 our contractors mainly. We have about 115 daily paid workers in the program, and they are distributed in different spaces in Tobago, in Argyle, in Belgrade, and in Speyside, and they work with us in order to increase the forest capital as the company is mandated to do. So that would include things like trail development, reforestation efforts, and so on. Some agroforestry, which we are kind of getting out of a bit, but more so to focus on how we could help to conserve the environment and generally increase forest capital.
What are the plans you have for conserving the forest and for just increasing our conservatory efforts there?
Well, first and all, just to create an awareness in the community of the need to conserve the soil. It's something that has been given to us as a heritage, and we must do what we need to do to preserve it for succeeding generations. In fact, that is their realest, most tangible inheritance, right? And we should treat it with a certain type of reverence in terms of how we protect the environment. So that would include for deforested areas to replant it with trees to conserve the soil, to protect the environment generally, to maintain the ecosystem, to promote life, right? So we have that duty as human beings for our succeeding generation. So to do those things basically.
So and how can people get involved or to be part of the efforts?
Well, different community organizations partner with us from time to time. We have had partnerships with Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Magdalena Resort. We are, in fact, I should mention that we have in a collaboration with the Hike and Plant Committee out of Trinidad, and we expect next month, on the 16th of next month, to have an influx of Trinidadians, about 200 or so, who will be coming to a location, and we basically just hiking and planting trees. So you're melding recreation with reforestation effort. We also have upcoming initiatives where we working with different community organizations to basically plant trees. TTAL is one of those organizations that's coming on board. We always work with Environmental Tobago and any other organization in the NGO space who shares the vision of really protecting the environment and increasing forest capital to partner with us.
And then in terms of the trees themselves that you guys are going to be replanting, is there any drive to sort of revive? Because I know over time we have lost some of our vegetation in the forest.
Yes.
Are we trying to gain back some of what we've lost with the replanting of trees?
Well, certainly, because one of our strategic efforts is to establish a nursery that will help in that. Or to upgrade the operations of existing nurseries that are going to help in creating the plants to be replacing in the trees. And that has a lot of impacts, let's say, in agriculture. If we have certain trees in the forest area, it will keep the parrots and so on in the area and the agoutis and so on where they are, so they won't have influx in farmers' holdings and so on. And that has a really demoralizing impact on agriculture. So things like that should have that type of social impact. So of course, you can't just plant any type of tree any place, right? So you need to be very selective of the species, that it will be supported by the existing ecosystem and these kind of things. So it's a technical, data-driven information approach to what we do.
I know in the past, like before Hurricane Flora and so on, we had the cockrico that used to be in the forest, and
Yes.
now it's all over, and it is a pest. It was not a pest before, but
Yeah.
it became a
Became a
pest
pest.
for the farmers.
Mhm.
Now, as the part about you guys replanting trees and I mean focusing, being strategic in the vegetation that you replant in the forest. Part of that is that to bring the cockrico back into the forest.
Yes, so that different species will be in their natural habitat, right? So that everybody have their space. We as humans, we live in the more built up urban areas, and we want the animals to be in their natural habitat in the forested area. So that is why we have the duty and the responsibility to really replenish the natural environment as it is, right? And add to its conservation and regrowth, so that we have that perfect balance between living in different spaces, and everyone is a common, because all life is important.
Certainly. And then as we're talking about some of the wildlife, what can you tell us about, what we have within our forest?
Well, we have the trees, a lot of them endemic, the bird species that we have that are some endemic and unique to Tobago. The forest cover, we have all of that forms part of what we call the forest capital. And it provides a lot of opportunity in different spheres, in tourism, for people who are interested in bird watching, who understand in botany, medicinal plants. It provides a whole lot of opportunities, So for people to engage these resources that we have, whether it's in craft, furniture making, utilizing different type of technologies, there's a wealth of things that we have in our forest, and we have a responsibility again, just to do the things that is necessary. And I'm honored to lead an organization that is doing its part in that whole conservation effort. Yeah?
And then how are we tying that with our tourism efforts? Because, I mean, the fact that we have a forest that is the oldest in the Western Hemisphere, that in and of itself is something that's quite major on the world stage. And a lot of people look towards that and come just to see that.
Yeah. Well, we have done something in the past when we had the Main Ridge Fitness Challenge back in March, and it made an impact in the local tourism space by having the influx of people from all over the country coming into Tobago to nearly 325 participants to participate in. And we also had a virtual aspect of it, so persons who were able to see the site virtually, and either it's on their treadmill or their bicycle or something, have that forest experience. So it definitely has an impact on the tourism space. One of the things that we recognize in terms of needs of tourists is to have that immersion into the natural environment, and Tobago offers a unique opportunity to experience that because of how we have been able to conserve our forests for nearly 250 years. The persons who really put that in place saw the vision, and it stands as an asset for us here in Tobago to cherish and to enjoy, and to invite other persons to come in and also cherish and enjoy.
Okay, great. Well, we are out of time for this segment, but I want to thank you so much, Mr. Dedan Daniel, for being on with us and for giving us an update as to what's happening in our forest, one of our treasured gems here in Tobago.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for having us.
All right, great. Viewers, please don't go anywhere because we have a lot more coming up for you after the break.
To a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise, the energy fill the sky.